भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Towards the end of the last class we said that the way to become happy is to discard the ignorance which is veiling the already existing happiness. One saving grace or a matter of great consolation is that what we are searching for is there and it is our own self. In Vedanta they would say that it is already accomplished. And therefore life can be described as a process of accomplishing what is already accomplished. Presently or generally, people look upon life as a process of accomplishing what is not accomplished. Thus we keep on accomplishing new things. Nothing wrong in that. But these accomplishments are guided by the idea that I have to accomplish something which is not accomplished. Or to become something which I am not. It is this conclusion on my part that presently guides my life. This is called the map of life. Presently, the map of life is that my life is a process of accomplishing what is not accomplished, becoming what I am not, or to become something different from what I am, to accomplish something that I don't have. This is the conclusion that I have today, and that is the basis of living my life. Vedanta teaches that. No, life should become the process of accomplishing what is already accomplished. Not becoming, but being. In becoming, when I want to become something different from what I am, there is automatically a denial of what I am. Only when I deny what I am, that I can proceed to become something that I am not. So in that process of becoming something that I am not, understand that there is constantly a self-denial. Not accepting myself that I am and want to become an acceptable self. In accomplishing also, when I am constantly seeking to accomplish something that is not accomplished, it is also a denial of what is already accomplished. So unless I deny what is accomplished, I could not be seeking to accomplish something else. Unless I deny what I am, I could not be struggling to become different from what I am. Understand? Thus, as it is right now, there is an undercurrent of self-denial. That is how we say that going away from ourselves. We call it extrovertedness. Extrovertedness is not that I am working in the outside or that I am a talkative person. That's not extrovertedness. Extrovertedness is an understanding of life that I have to achieve something that is away from me. I have to achieve something that is different from me. I have to become what I am not. It is this conclusion. This is the base of extrovertedness. Thus I am always looking out there, searching out there. That is extrovertedness. We generally call people who are talkative extroverted. Now that may be a different way of, but the Vedantic extrovertedness is not that you are a talkative person, or you like to meet people, etc., you want to do things. We may not necessarily call it extrovertedness from Vedantic standpoint. You may not be doing anything and still be extroverted if you think that I have to achieve something. So this conclusion on my part, that I have to become something that I am not, to achieve something that I do not have, always involves a self-denial endeavor, always as though going away from myself. How can there be happiness when I am denying the very happiness that I am? That's the reason why human beings can never find any kind of lasting success. Because the very success is denied. So Vedanta says we have to turn around this whole process. Turning around does not mean I start doing something else. Turning around doesn't mean that I give up what I'm doing or my life. That's not turning around. Turning around in my mind. Turn around your basis or the map of life. Then make your life the accomplishment of what is already accomplished. Swami, this looks like a contradictory thing. Accomplishing what is already accomplished, how can it be? If something is already accomplished, how can there be accomplishment of that? Accomplishment of something which is already accomplished, but which is not recognized. If the 10th man is already accomplished, but not recognized. So one who is searching for the 10th man, while counting does not take himself into account. Think there are only 9, the 10th is lost, whereas the one who counts himself is the 10th. So now the conclusion is 10th man is lost. 10th man has to be searched for. He's out there. Thus the very search for the 10th man is a denial of himself, who is the 10th man. Unless I deny myself, I could not be looking out there. So looking out for happiness there. Upanishad says, Paranchikhani vyaturas swayambhuhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratma. Ishvara has created our sense organs and mind extrovert. Meaning that Ishvara has as though planted this wrong conclusion in our mind that what I am seeking is out there. We blame Ishvara. Because this is the result of ignorance. And who do you blame for ignorance? So one way of blaming, at least we don't blame ourselves. We don't blame the world. Thing is, don't blame yourself for your unhappiness, nor blame anybody else for your unhappiness. If you want to blame somebody, blame ignorance. And nobody has created ignorance. It's a universal thing there, but blame ignorance. That's all. Nobody really deserves to be blamed. The world does not deserve to be blamed, nor do I deserve to be blamed. If you have to blame something, it is ignorance. And all the wrong notions that are created from ignorance. So ignorance creates this false notion that I have to become something. I have to. Tasmat parang pashyati. Therefore the human mind always looks out there. Nantaratman never looks at itself. Human being never looks at himself or what he is searching for. The happiness or success. Only looks out there. With this we are born. It's called ignorance. So with this kind of an orientation we are born. And you always go round and round in searching for the 10th man. You can never find him as long as you are searching for. So then Vedanta teaches us it is accomplishment. It is not accomplishing something. It is recognizing what is already accomplished. It is not accomplishing what is not accomplished. It is recognizing what is already accomplished. It is owning up what is already there. It is being what you are and not becoming what you are not. Now this is a reorientation of our mind, understand? Reorientation about the conclusions about the life, a fundamental reorientation. This may not change what you are doing. This may not change time, place, anything, but then it will change now the purpose for which you are doing something. Today when I perform an action, the intention behind that is to acquire something that I don't have, to become something that I am not, to accomplish something that I don't have. This is the purpose of performing every action. This is called karma phala asakti, attachment to result of the action. See, understand where the attachment comes from. It is this wrong thinking to be blamed, which has concluded that what I am seeking is out there. So naturally that becomes important to me. And naturally when it is important, I want to hold on to that. I want to acquire that. I want to possess it. I want to hold on. I don't want to let it go. So that is called attachment. Thus attachment means that I value something which doesn't have that value. We do not say world is not valuable, but it doesn't possess what I am seeking. World has its own value. But the happiness which I am seeking from the world, that it does not have, poor thing. World is designed and created to be useful to me, to serve my basic purposes, appeasing hunger and thirst and protecting me from heat and cold and water. So for that the world is meant. World is not designed to give me happiness. And if that is what I seek, then I am going to be disappointed. So it is not that we cut off the relation with the world. We now have a different view about the world. What's the view? That the world has a certain usefulness in my life. Because I have a body. In the world there are basic needs. That body has hunger and thirst and it needs protection from heat and cold and rain and this and whatever. And for that, certainly, world has its role to play in my life. So Vedanta does not reject the world. Our Swami would say that give the value that everything has, no more, no less. To say that money is everything also is wrong. To say money is nothing also is wrong. Money is something. It has something to contribute in our life, and that way it certainly has a value. So Vedanta teaches us how to have the right perspective of everything. Everything has the right place in our life. So that there is no rejection. I don't chase anything, nor do I reject anything. I have a very healthy perception, a healthy the relationship with the world. It's called Vairagya. When I've understood that world cannot give me happiness, it can give me comfort, and I have a need for comfort. To that extent, the world has a place in my life. No more, no less. Thus, I do not look upon world as a means of happiness or security. That relationship is called Vairagya. I have a healthy relationship. Then no attachment, no aversion. So what is there is nothing but affection. If you don't have attachment, aversion, then you love everything. Love is our nature. That also we don't have to create. Attachment also is love. Aversion also is love, but distorted love. All my love is focused on one thing, that's called attachment. And that hatred is another thing. There is also distorted love, that's called aversion. So I release my love from being locked up in one place by recognizing what its true value is, and that's how then my love is available to everything. So as we become free from attachments and aversion, then we become free. Ignorance thus creates a wrong conclusion or wrong understanding of life. So makes me superimpose what is not there, superimpose happiness upon that which is not there. Vedanta calls Shobhanadhyasa, means that superimposing happiness which is not there. superimposed unhappiness which is upon myself which is not there. That's how the life is lived. And we have to overcome this. It won't go away right away. This habit of a wrong conclusion endeavor, wrong perception about things and about myself is so deeply rooted that it will not go away just like that. Even if we intellectually understand this now that our mind is very quiet and objective, and then, so we see that fact. But this is our thinking or intellectual faculty that understands right now. We have an impulsive and emotional faculty. An impulsive faculty. And that is what lives life. Our intellect does not live life, it is our mind with which we live life. We interact with the world with the mind. We feel in our mind. And therefore, now the mind also has to be transformed to bring it in alignment with the new understanding of intellect. So far, intellect had a wrong understanding. And that understanding has been rooted in the mind. So poor mind, mind is a habitual faculty. Habitually is extrovert, habitually superimposed, habitually wants, habitually hates, habitually allows. So the attachment, everything becomes habitual. Without thinking it takes place. That's called mind. That's called the habitual faculty. That's called the impulsive faculty. So two things we have to do. First of all, transform the understanding in the intellect. This is what we are doing. And second is, completely transform the habitual mind. Release that mind from its old habits by creating new habits. What is the old habit? Self-denial. As I said, searching for something out there involves a denial of myself. So right now my life is all based on self-denial. All my desires, my expectations, my demands, where I expect or demand that you make me happy. See, my demand behind all the demands, in every relationship there is a demand or expectation. The demand behind all the demand is you make me happy, that's all. You love me, you make me happy, you make me comfortable, which the poor thing will do. But then now today that makes me happy, tomorrow something else I need for happiness, then nobody can cope with me. Because my fanciful mind keeps on changing its notions of what makes me happy and that, but nobody can cope with me. Even if they are very sincerely trying, our students try to please the Swami, bring this, bring that, do this, but you can't cope. If the Swami every day is a fanciful person and demands new things, then you can't cope with that. So this life of demanding, life of expectation, all of our relationships are all based on expectations. Each one has an expectation of the other. Each one feels hollow or incomplete inside and wants to feel completeness. Since I cannot bring about that completeness myself, I want you to do that. So I want others. That is how I become a big burden to others, because now they are burdened with making me happy. And people do try. But sometimes I am such a person that my demand for happiness keeps on changing and growing, and I want more and more, and thus we become tremendous burden to others. So we are a burden to the world, and the world becomes burden to me, and that's how the life goes on. It's not a very pleasant situation, very tragic situation. All because of intelligence, which is brought about this wrong perception. So turn around. It is no more a demanding life. Now what is turning around? Instead of making demands, fulfill demands. So right now I want them to fulfill my demand, then I can be happy. Vedanta says discover happiness by fulfilling demands. There is happiness there also. Most amazing thing is, It is not only that we become happy when somebody fulfills my demand, that we do, but that's a temporary happiness because my demand will change. But there is happiness when I fulfill somebody's demand. When I go out of my way and perform an act of kindness, and then I discover a self-satisfaction. In the morning we say how we are all the time watching and judging and passing judgment on ourselves and finding ourselves unsatisfactory to our own self. But when I go out of my way and perform one act of kindness, then I will find myself an acceptable self. A giving self is an acceptable self, a demanding self is not an acceptable self. Because giving is my nature. Right now I am living a life that is in contradiction to my nature. So we have to slowly live the life which is in harmony with my nature. If fullness or wholeness is my nature, then my life should be based in harmony with that. Right now I brand inadequacy upon myself, the neediness upon myself, and then live the life. Lord Krishna says, don't do that. Fake it till you make it. Fake it that you are a whole person, you are happiness, you are already accomplished, you are already what you want to be. I don't feel it, fake it, means pretend. And act as though you are that, as though you are an adequate person, as though you are a person free from all the needs. I feel a lot of need, but still act as though you have no need. When we have no need, then we have all the leisure to fulfill other people's need. Right now we don't have leisure to fulfill others' needs because we are so needy and so preoccupied with our own self and our own needs that other people don't have a chance in our life. And so we don't have opportunity or leisure to look at other people's needs. When I don't have any need, then my mind is all available. It looks around, what can I do? How can I fulfill somebody's needs? So act that way, as though you are free from all the needs. In which case, you will automatically want to fulfill the needs. You don't feel like that, but then act as though. Pretend as though. Meaning that now, turn around the life from a life of demanding to a life of giving. Life of expectation to a life of fulfilling the expectation. Of course, do this wisely, because it's not easy to fulfill other people's expectations. Just as others cannot easily fulfill my expectation, because more expectations I fulfill, more needy I become, more demanding I become. That will happen to others also. That when you start to fulfill somebody's expectation, they are not going to be happy forever. Then you come up with new expectation and you find that you are completely drained out. Don't get burnt out. Meaning that do this process wisely. See your own boundaries. So function in boundaries. Because fulfilling somebody's expectation right now, when I don't feel fulfilled and I act as though I am fulfilled, then when I try to fulfill your expectation, it is going to involve some pain in me. Because my mind doesn't want to do it, and I make my mind do it. My mind doesn't want to give, I make it give. Then there is pain. Meaning that this life will involve some pain. What? Inner pain of some deprivation, that I deliberately deprive myself to try to fulfill your need. That involves pain. And we have a pain threshold, they call it. Meaning there is a limit to the extent to which I can put up with this pain. Therefore follow this model up to a point where you can put up with the pain. It is a painful process. Not a very pleasant process in that way. Because your inner self says, hey, don't give anything, And I said, no, give him 25 rupees. I have 100 rupees inside, 25. Doesn't want to give, doesn't want to part with. And so I force myself. Means then there is going to be pain inside. That I deliberately did something that my mind doesn't want to do. I want to change my mind. And for that I have to make my mind do something that it may not want to do, because it's a wrong orientation. Therefore, it has this kind of conclusions. And I want to change that. Just like yoga. Your body doesn't want to bend, you bend it. But don't bend so much that you cannot become straight. And go step by step. Because the body, whenever you bend your body, there is pain. There is a threshold of pain. And therefore stay within the boundaries of that pain and slowly stretch those boundaries. You understand? That's how we learn. You don't learn yoga asanas in one day or even 15 days. It will take 6 months, depending upon the body stiffness. So how learning yoga involves, they call it sweet pain. There's somebody was teaching me, says, Swami, this is called sweet pain. All right. Because when you do that, there is some pain. But remain within threshold of the pain, otherwise if you stretch it too much, then it breaks. So how we do with our yoga, with exercise, with all kinds of fitness training, is always slowly and slowly and slowly. Similarly, the mind, this is called yoga. This is called yoga, meaning the transformation of mind, which is a slow process. We have to be deliberate, we have to be conscious or alert, being always observant of the mind, understand also, be sensitive to the needs of the mind and emotions of the mind, and only take as much liberty as it is possible, not more than that. And slowly stretch those limits. So the Swamiji says, transform yourself from being consumer to being a contributor. He's a contributor who reaches out. Now this is a slow process. I said because the mind habitually mind doesn't want to do. This is outside our, what do you call it, the comfort zone. Mind wants to remain in comfort zone. And we deliberately want the mind to cross that comfort zone. So it resists. A little painful. But don't go out too much so that you cannot come back, you get lost. So therefore, it's just like that. Then you undertake this process. And progressively, thus we become what? Left more and more free from expectations and needs. This process of what happens is, the self that I am is the self that you are, really. And therefore, when I am fulfilling your need, I may not even know. But in a way, I am fulfilling my need also. Because help happens to be one. And this process is a process which is based on Advaita, non-duality. Right now we are all rooted in duality, that you are different, I am different. And the way I conduct myself is based on that duality, that this is my zone. It's my territory, nobody enters that territory. There are boundaries. And I maintain those boundaries, then only I feel secure. Some false sense of security I have. From duality to non-duality. Today, I treat you in a manner that suits me, my convenience. Now I change around. I try to treat you as I treat myself. Lord Krishna says in the Gita, Atmopamena sarvatra samam pashyati yojana sukham vayadiva dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. Sayogi is called supreme yogi, who treats others as he treats himself. How do I treat myself? I always want to make myself happy. and I never want to make myself unhappy. Simple. So treating you like treating myself is what? Seeking to make you happy. And then do not make you unhappy. Not easy. Not easy. All easier, this all sounds nice. Easier said than done. It is an uphill task. But we can take it. Once there is the backing of the right understanding, Uddaret Atmana Atmanam, Lord Krishna says. Lift yourself up by yourself. Thus there are two selves as though. One is the intellect or understanding self which has now the right perspective, right understanding. And listen to Vedanta again and again so you get a clarity, so all your doubts are gone. So that in every situation you know what is right. We should listen to Vedanta and get that clarity. So that what Vedanta teaches becomes clear in every... How? Because every situation needs to be interpreted. Every situation is a unique situation. And what the value of contribution means needs to be interpreted in that situation. You follow? Contribution may not mean the same thing to everybody, same person or to everybody in every situation. For example, what is honesty needs to be, every value needs to be interpreted. What is non-violence needs to be interpreted. Non-violence of one kind in battlefield, a different kind in a home. In battlefield, if you shoot somebody with gun, it may still not be called violence. At home, you can punch, that may be called violence. So every value needs to be interpreted because even though value is universal, its interpretation is personal. Every person has to interpret what that value means to me in this situation. There cannot be one answer to everybody. What should I do, Swami? Then what is the situation, what is what? We must take into account that situation, take into account you, and then come up with the interpretation. Thus, I should, studying Vedanta and gaining clarity is so that I can correctly interpret that value in every situation. What does value of a contributor mean in this situation? What paropakara means? The whole universe is only designed around paropakara or helping others. The sun also shines only to help others, for the sake of others. And the rivers flow for the sake of others. The trees bear fruits for the sake of others. So everything in nature acts for the sake of others. That's how the rhythm or the tune in the universe is. If you call it music, then this is the tune. This is the melody. The paropakara is a melody around which everything functions. And ideally, we have to align ourselves to that melody. So paropakara is what? You call it contribution or you call it paropakara. Upakara means help. Paropakara, helping others. So what that paropakara means in the situation has to be interpreted. See, for example, parents sometimes think that giving children what they want is loving children. My child wants this, okay beta, have this, have that, have it. Now that may not be love. In every relationship there must be both the freedom and restraint. That you give your child a certain freedom when it's not hurtful to child, and restrain the child when you realize that it will hurt the child. So all restraint cannot be there, all freedom cannot be there. Every relationship involves a judicious combination of restraint and freedom. Every relationship. The husband and wife or father and son, friends, every relationship. So giving doesn't mean you keep on giving and giving and giving, spoiling that person. Understand? Swami, if I keep on giving that, the person becomes more demanding, gets spoiled. So then find out the limit. What that means in a situation. Because by giving you may be hurting them also. You follow? And by not giving you may be helping them. So helping is not a particular action. Helping is something to be interpreted, and what it means in a given situation has to be interpreted by me, and accordingly I act. So this requires being alert, being analytical, putting this teaching into practice, and slowly walking the talk. So mind doesn't walk the talk. You have to make the mind walk the talk. It's a process called yoga, a transformation in the mind, a transformation in its habits, because mind is a habitual faculty. Intellect is a thinking faculty, deliberate faculty, and mind is the habitual faculty. Therefore, we should bring deliberation in every situation. Puja Swami's words, in every situation, a two-step response. One-step response is when you impulsively act. Mind habitually acts. Two-step response is the intellect comes in. The deliberation comes in. And then it deliberates what is the right thing to do, what is the interpretation of a given value in this situation. This you deliberate, arrive at and then enact. You can make a mistake. Even after deliberation also, we can make mistake. That making mistake is not a problem. But not deliberating is a problem. Because after deliberation, then from result I realize that, hey, my way of thinking was wrong. Then I will learn. Then it becomes a process of learning also. But being a deliberate person. So three kinds of persons are there. An impulsive person, a deliberate person, and a spontaneous person. So deliberation then makes us spontaneous in course of time. By practicing doing right, the mind slowly and slowly gets aligned with what is right. A day will come when without deliberation I will do what is right. Today I do what is right with deliberation. But when that is done for a length of time, a day comes when I do what is right without deliberation. In the beginning, speaking truth, I must be deliberate. Because of my habit of suddenly compromising truth and white lies and taking shortcuts. We don't even know where we are compromising. It is just habitual. So why did you say that? Oh, that's how it also said, You don't tell everything right. So habitually we do things. Habitually we have facade. We present ourselves as different from what we really are. We have facade. Because I want people to feel good about me, accept me, not reject me. If I appear as I truly am, then people are not going to like me. They'll reject me. Therefore, I present myself as a person who is likable. So all the time this is going on. What is inside is one thing, what is outside is a different thing. Most of the time. That's called Maya. Being one thing inside, what something else. But that is because of my insecurity. It is my insecurity that makes me do this, because I feel that I will be rejected. What will happen to me if they find out what I truly am and they reject me? What will happen to me? And therefore I present myself as an acceptable person. And slowly I gather courage to present myself as I am, slowly and slowly, not right away. So within me also a harmony develops. That what is within is what is without. This is called alignment. Manasyekam, vachasyekam, karmanyekam, mahatmana. Manasanyat, vachasanyat, karmanyanyat, duratmanam. There is a saying in Sanskrit, Mahatma and Duratma. Mahatma, a great soul. Duratma, a distorted person, a papi, sinner. Manasyekam, vachasyekam, karmanyekam, Mahatmanam. For the Mahatmas, for the large-hearted, great souls, evolved souls, what is in the mind is in the words, and what is in the words is in the action. Manas, vachas, karma. Manasanyat, vachasanyat, karmananyat. In mind there is some kind of a thing. Words are different and actions are even different. It's called Duratma. But really he is a pitiable person, There is no Duratma. There is no sinner. Our Swami, there is no criminal. Nobody, because, why there is no criminal? Because intrinsically everybody is a kind, good, loving person. Everybody. What we call criminal also. So criminality is only incidental, not inherent in a person. So how did these tendencies come? Only because of wrong upbringing, wrong education, wrong company. That has made this person what the person is. Well, ultimately we are products of our environment. And where we grow and the way we are raised and the way we are taught and indoctrinated, that's what we become. But what is criminal outwardly is inwardly only a kind, beautiful, loving person. So we are like that. We are inherently kind, beautiful, loving person. So we recognize that I am not able to act kindly because I still don't have that kind of a secure sense of security within me. I still don't have the courage to speak what is right. I'm afraid if I speak what is right, then I'm vulnerable. People will exploit me. I will suffer this loss, etc. Slowly become bolder, more courageous, more true to ourselves. That is life, otherwise always conflict, is it not so? When we present ourselves different from what we are, isn't that a conflict? Very stressful thing. To have a facade where I show myself differently. And shaving the hair and wearing this clothes, showing a Swami. Inwardly, God knows. At least you don't know. But our Swami says, look, for example, you can cover your face, there are wrinkles and there are all kinds of, what is available, foundations or whatever they call available, by which you can cover your wrinkles. Swami says, this person can cover the wrinkles, but not the knowledge that I have the wrinkles. You can't cover that knowledge that I have the wrinkles. Means there is a conflict. And suppose that foundation or whatever thing is such that it is time bound, that for 3 hours it remains, or 4 hours it remains. Then slowly suppose disappears. People take injections these days, and so it is time bound, that so long it will remain. Then you are aware also. You go to party with this kind of thing that for 4 hours you are safe. The party stretches out and then you become conscious now. So you can cover the wrinkles but not the knowledge that you have the wrinkles. So there is a conflict in there. What causes stresses and anxiety are all these conflicts. Where what I show is not what I am. But that's what we are right now. And from there we have to create that harmony within ourselves. Step by step. By living true to myself, that I am a kind person, loving person, beautiful person, that's what Vedanta is. That is called happiness. Happiness is not a different thing. Kindness means happiness. Compassion means happiness. Goodness means happiness. Happiness is not a different thing. Happiness is a state of mind. And when I am kind, I enjoy a state of mind where I am comfortable with myself. I am comfortable with a kind self. I am comfortable with a compassionate self, with a loving self, with a giving self. I am comfortable. As you say in the morning, I am happy when I am comfortable with myself. Then, simple thing, just be a kind person. Be a compassionate person. Be a giving person. A loving person. I don't feel that, Swami. I don't feel love for this person. Then act. So, fake it till you make it. What happens is all these wrong things have made our heart quite insensitive. The reason why we need to go to nature, etc., is that it opens up. But otherwise, heart is insensitive. Here I don't feel that. What I feel in nature, I don't feel here. There I feel presence of God. I don't feel it here. Although God is here, right much, So all these way of living and thinking has made us insensitive. And so this will make us sensitive. So right now God is confined to temple, to this place, to that place, to nature. I love to go to nature. That's why you feel God. That's why you love to go there. Which is good. We hope that we don't have to go someplace. They keep on always taunting us, hey, God is everywhere. Why do you go to temple? Why do you go to that? But I don't see God everywhere. I see it in temple. That's why I go there. Or somebody sees in temple, somebody sees in nature, somebody sees in music, somebody sees wherever they see. So right now my association with God is very confined, very limited. You want to stretch it out? By the reason why I do not feel God is not because God is not there, because my mind is not sensitive. So intellect understands that God is everywhere. But the mind has to become sensitive to that fact. And this is a process of making that mind sensitive. Either you say you feel God or feel you yourself. When you don't experience God means we don't experience ourselves because God is not separate from that. So we become more and more true to ourselves, closer and closer to ourselves. Ultimately remain yourself. No need to become more acceptable I discover myself, less need to become somebody else. The reason for becoming someone else is because I do not find myself acceptable as I am. Here is the process of discovering ourselves acceptable as we are. When we slowly transform ourselves in this mind. There is transforming habitual mind. First, transforming the understanding intellect, where we have the viveka or discrimination, and secondly, with the help of that viveka or discrimination, slowly but surely transform the mind to bring it in alignment with the intellect, understanding of intellect. There's a harmony within myself. Then I'm at peace with myself. Right now intellect is one set of things and mind doesn't have, so intellect keeps on taunting the mind and rejecting the mind, and that's why there is no peace within myself. I'm not at peace with myself. I may think that this place is not peaceful, but I am not at peace with myself. If I am at peace with myself, every place is peaceful, really. But then why, Swami, we feel some places are peaceful? Because those places create in me a mood where I find myself at peace with myself. That place is instrumental in creating that. But then, that's good. That's why we need places, and we do Sucha Udesha, Lord Krishna says also that solitude is good, and then find out a place where there is solitude and the place is pure, and sit in a given posture and do this. All of this is nothing but to discover, peace from myself, my own self. So this is a way to become happy, is all the time reminding myself, who am I? A kind, good, beautiful, loving person. And try to bring that person into action in every situation. how would I act? If I was a kind, good, loving person, how would I act? Try to act that way. That is called offering my action to that fellow. That's called offering the action to that kind, loving, good person. You follow? That's called offering the action. That is Ishvara. So, what is bhakti? You are offering action. When Lord Krishna says that whatever you do it in such a manner that becomes an offering to me. Which me? This me, this self, which is kind, good, loving person. So try to bring him into play in every situation. Act as though you are that kind, good, loving person. Act as though. Try. That is called bhakti. You know bhakti because there is a value for that kindness and goodness. And every action can become an opportunity to assert my kindness. Whenever I perform an action expecting something, I am asserting the opposite of that. I am only asserting my inadequacy. When I make a demand on you to make me happy, I am asserting my inadequacy. Here I want to assert my adequacy, assert my true self. That's how I should try to live a life which is true to myself. Right now I am living a life which is in contradiction to my own self. That's why I don't find peace in myself. When this problem is there within me, then the whole world also can always pour salt on the wound. Then spouse also does this, and neighbor also does, and boss also does this, and company also does, and everybody does something to make me unhappy. But when they all pour salt on the wound, which is the wound? The self-non-acceptance is the wound. Then they pour salt. If that is not there, they can pour whatever salt they want. So a wise person is not affected. Swami says it becomes like a Teflon, Nothing touches, nothing affects it. So lives in the same world. Teflon means not insensitive. But he has removed from himself all those distortions which made him vulnerable, which empowered the world to affect him. We empower the world to affect us, to make us unhappy. We empower. By this wrong perception of ourselves and wrong values. As that becomes right, we empower the world less and less. We find the world more and more beautiful place. Same fellows are, I did not know you're so good. I didn't realize that. But everybody is good and beautiful. And when we are good and beautiful, that goodness also comes out, We feel good in presence of some people because that's what they bring out from us. We like them because we like the self in their presence. I like myself when I'm in presence of that person because that person has the capacity to bring out that self of me. So in the presence of that person, I feel comfortable and good. So basically I like myself. But because that person became instrumental, I like that person also. Then what happens is, because elsewhere I cannot find that comfortable self, I must go again and again. Then that becomes an attachment. Then if I don't follow boundaries there, then it can become very difficult and painful also. But that's a different matter. But thus, it is ourselves making acceptable to ourselves. We are born without our faults. We are born with ignorance. And then we are born with not accepting ourselves, without our faults. And so this task is given to us to learn, understand, and act in a manner that we progressively become acceptable to ourselves. That is happiness. Self-acceptance is happiness. And it does not happen automatically. It is a process that we have to intelligently initiate, intelligent living. It won't automatically happen. Our Swami will call it emotional maturity. It doesn't automatically happen. We initiate that process. When this understanding is there, then process is initiated and then we can progress in that direction of discovering true happiness. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.